Drew had always been a night owl, preferring to work late into the evening and then grabbing a cup of coffee at his favorite coffee shop before heading home. But tonight, something felt different. As he walked through the empty streets, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. He tried to brush it off as paranoia, but as he approached the coffee shop, he realized that there was someone standing in the shadows just outside the door. Drew froze, unsure of what to do. The figure stepped forward, revealing a man with dark, greasy hair and a menacing look in his eyes. "Can I help you?" Drew asked, trying to keep his voice steady. The man didn't answer, but instead just stared at Drew with a sinister grin on his face. Drew's heart began to race as he realized that he was in danger. He turned to run, but the man reached out and grabbed him by the arm, pulling him back. "Come with me," the man growled. Drew struggled to break free, but the man's grip was too strong. He was dragged into the coffee shop and thrown into a chair. The man locked the door behind them and turned to Drew with a twisted grin. "You're not going anywhere," he said. Drew's mind raced as he tried to think of a way out of this situation. He knew that he had to act fast, but he didn't want to provoke the man any further. He decided to play along and try to reason with him. "What do you want from me?" Drew asked. The man just laughed. "I want to play a game," he said. "A game of life and death." Drew's heart sank as he realized that this man was not just some random stranger, but a deranged killer. He knew that he had to get out of there, but he didn't know how. He looked around the coffee shop, searching for something to use as a weapon. The man seemed to sense Drew's desperation and stepped closer. "Don't even think about it," he said. Just then, Drew's eyes fell on a coffee pot on the counter. Without hesitation, he lunged for it and swung it at the man's head. The man stumbled backwards, but quickly regained his balance. Drew didn't wait around to see what would happen next. He sprinted towards the door, but the man was too quick. He grabbed Drew by the collar and pulled him back, sending Drew crashing to the ground. As Drew lay there, dazed and bruised, the man loomed over him. "You should have just played along," he said. "Now you'll pay the price." Drew knew that he was going to die, but he wasn't going to go down without a fight. He kicked out with all his strength, catching the man in the stomach and sending him reeling. Drew scrambled to his feet and ran for the door, but the man was already on his heels. Just as Drew reached the door, the man lunged forward and grabbed him by the leg. Drew kicked out again, this time connecting with the man's face. He heard a satisfying crunch as the man's nose broke. The man let out a scream of rage and lunged forward again, but Drew was ready for him. He kicked out one last time, sending the man flying backwards. Drew didn't wait around to see what would happen next. He unlocked the door and ran out into the street. He didn't stop running until he was safely back at his apartment. He locked the door behind him and collapsed. Suddenly his phone vibrated on the coffee table, startling Drew. Drew looks over to see a single text from an unknown number. "Knock knock."